Are you interested in an exciting career with great benefits? Medley Pharmacy is hiring in Ogden, Utah for call center representatives and pharmacy technicians. Be a part of the fastest growing digital pharmacy in the U.S. that's looking to change the healthcare industry as we know it. Jobs with Medley have great advantages like a 401k, paid time off, gym reimbursements, and even medical, dental, and vision insurance. Candidates of all backgrounds will be considered. For more information, visit medley.com/careers today. That's medley.com/careers. Don't miss BYU Spectacular, October 7th and 8th, featuring Tony Award-winning Broadway star Brian Stokes Mitchell and more. Tickets on sale at BYUtickets.com. BYUtickets.com.
Dave and Degenevic, a new conversation.
All right, here we go.
On KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
This is the story I have not been able to turn away from for the last several days. I am so happy to have talked earlier today in the show to a 10-year-old girl named Journey Brown. She lives in Roy. Talked to her and her mom, Lauren, about what went down on Friday evening after Journey decided to pedal her bike up to the gas station. She wanted to buy some Jolly Ranchers. And so she went there to buy some Jolly Ranchers, and she gets inside, and there's a man who comes over to, like, the soda area where she's at, and he just looks at her kind of weird and makes her feel uncomfortable. What happened after is amazing, because Journey saved herself, I believe, from a kidnapping and potentially something even worse. Because according to police documents that we've read through here at Broadcast House at KSL News Radio, what this man had in mind to do to Journey is unthinkable. So let me walk you through the conversation that I had with Journey's mom, Lauren, and with Journey herself. So Journey is leaving the gas station after this man gives her the creeps, frankly. She gets back on her bike, and she starts pedaling away. Well, he walks in front of her and tries to pedal him. And he grabs her by the neck. And in a moment, you're going to hear in her words what we heard live earlier today when she called the show and how she fought back. She fought back, and she won. It turns out what she didn't know, and what we're all now learning, is that this man is a convicted sex offender who'd spent 3 years behind bars for unlawful sexual activity with a minor back in 2007. And she has the unfortunate encounter with him at this gas station in Roy, Utah on Friday night. But she does not give in. He has her in a chokehold, she says, and she is fighting back and screaming. And we first brought Mom onto the show in the 9 o'clock hour because I wanted to know what it was she told her daughter, how she taught her daughter, so we can teach our own kids what to do. And what struck me in our conversation is that Lauren Brown has not only taught her daughter to fight back like your life depends on it, because truly, honestly, it does. At this moment, it does. But to have confidence in herself. So let's listen to what Lauren told our listeners earlier today.
Something especially that I've done with Journey since she was little is affirmations in the mirror. I've got videos of her at a very young age, 2 years old, saying in the mirror, "I am strong. I am amazing. I'm powerful. I'm not scared of anything." You know, just building their confidence up, because we need to empower our kids and not make them feel like they just have to be a victim. They are so much more powerful than we think, and we have so much to learn from them. But teaching them those skills and the confidence to be able to carry out in those situations is really important.
That is brilliant. I wish I would have done that with my kids when they were little. Give them the confidence they need, and not just by telling them, by taking them to the mirror and having them tell themselves. Because that paid off in that moment when Journey needed to reassure herself that she was stronger than this 44-year-old man who was trying to take her. She's 10 and she's fighting back. She needed to be able to tell herself in that moment that he wasn't going to get her. he wasn't going to get her. And she told me during our conversation, you'll hear more from her in just a moment, that she knew he wasn't going to win. She knew when she was holding onto her bike as he put his arms around her neck and got her in a chokehold, he was not getting her off that bike. So Lauren said, Journey's mom, said to me, look, I have been teaching my kids how to fight back since they were little.
Basically, since they were little, we have always taught them that if someone tries to take you or we've always talked about, the typical, if they have a puppy in their car, if they have candy, you say absolutely no, you run, you scream, stranger danger. In the instance of, actually physical contact, we have always taught them to fight and do not stop fighting. Fight and scream as loud as you possibly can, because, and we've always said this, if someone's trying to get you into their car or into a home or any type of vehicle, the second you're in that vehicle, we may never see you again.
So here's this 10-year-old, and she is fighting and screaming, and she is doing everything that her mom has taught her all these years. And Lauren says, this isn't a one-off discussion. For parents, she wants parents to know this is a continuing discussion. Not to freak your kids out. Remind them that stranger abductions are rare, but clearly there's the potential, and in this case, police say he wanted to kidnap her. He not only is going to take her from the gas station, he's going to take her to a vacant house down the street. So he's familiar with the area. He knows where to take her. And then, according to police records, I want to make sure we are attributing that to police, he intended to sexually assault her. So in that moment, she's fighting back. She is saving herself from a future as a victim of sexual assault. She stopped that from becoming a victim of that. I want to talk about Journey right now. So our conversation in the 9 o'clock hour turns to Journey after Mom and I had this wonderful conversation that I hope empowers a lot of parents to have these conversations with their children tonight. Journey not only physically fought back, but something in her gut told her that man at the gas station, just something was off with him.
So he stopped, so I thought he wanted me to go around him. So when I tried to go around him, he turned around and grabbed my neck. Then when he had his arm around my neck, my chin was right on his elbow, so I hit his elbow really hard a few times. Then he let go and screamed okay and ran, and I rode my bike as fast as I could home.
And her encounter with him inside the gas station told her, because he smiled at her weird, just something about him didn't seem right. So when she saw him outside and he grabs her neck, according to what she's telling us, she's ready to fight. And she holds on to her bike. She will not let go of her bike.
I made a promise to myself that I would not let my bike go.
Why did you do that?
So that he couldn't get me off my bike. And also I screamed so he couldn't, and he would be scared. So he just ran.
And it worked because he gave up. She made it so complicated for him, not only by screaming and yelling and hoping to draw attention by people around the gas station that could run to her, her aid, but by not letting go of the bike, she made it completely awkward for him to try to pick her up, right? So he can't pick her up and the bike up. I'm thinking to myself, thank goodness she didn't walk up there to the store, that she rode her bike up. So she had this as a tool to fight back against him and keep herself safe. And I asked Journey, I said, there are other kids that need your advice and need your strength. So what would you tell them?
You should just listen to, if you have a bad feeling, try to stay away from that person. I also, my first instinct was to fight and not to do anything else but fight.
Not to do anything else but fight. To follow your gut, to fight back, to scream, to yell, to bite, to kick. Don't get in the car. Don't allow them to take you. Do everything that you can to fight back. And that's how Journey Brown, who's just 10 years old, fended off this man who has been convicted of sexually assaulting another child many years ago. He now faces some very serious charges once again. We'll continue to follow that development in that case as it winds through the courts. But I want to mention this before we complete this conversation. And I brought Lauren back on the phone because during our entire discussion, over 10 minutes with her and 5 or 10 minutes with Journey, something was nagging at me. I didn't really understand why Lauren felt the need as a mom to train her kids the way she had trained her kids, all of them, her sons and her daughter. And she told me in that follow-up conversation when we were live on the air, she said she taught her kids to be aware of their surroundings and the potential dangers and to fight back, because when she was 3 years old, she herself was almost kidnapped.